All right, live, Mr. Stacey Wyatt.
What is up, Big Daddy?
What's up, Big Daddy? How you doing, man?
Good, man. You?
I'm good. I appreciate your time today. So, wanted to get you here to talk to you a little bit about the journey, where you've been, where you're going. And so, for those of you guys that don't know Stacey Wyatt owns a team, the Stacey Wyatt Group. They're based out of Roswell, and they were definitely an MREA millionaire real estate team last year. I think you guys did well north of 100 families and 40 plus million. So you got quite the machine going over there. But you moved that machine over to EXP a couple years ago,
Yep.
right? It's been about 2 years.
Just a little over 2 years now.
Okay. And so, I've been working, pretty much running my team, parallel to your team. And so tell me, in the last 2 years, how's your business changed since you moved over?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. Obviously, we got into a point in our business, and you and our businesses have tracked, alongside of each other pretty well, and got stuck with, kind of got stuck in that 20 million range, a little bit of the messy middle, for those that know the real estate business, and was looking for somebody just to help me grow, right? Like get to the next stage. How, we've done 20 million sales. How do we get to 40 million? Now that we're at 40 million, how do we get to 80 million? And, in the 2 years, we've more than doubled our business. Last year, I think we did roughly 44 million, I think was the final, served over well over 100 families. This year, our goal is 72 million in sales. So it's been fantastic, not only for our sales business, but for the other businesses that we've since spun off of that served our clients. So it's in some cases, I say it's a big statement. I say it's been life-changing for multiple reasons. To see this model through the ownership, through revenue share. It's literally changed my life in multiple ways. And I don't say that lightly either.
Well, I've seen you guys develop and grow, and the team grows, and everybody seems so happy over there and like loving real estate. Not that we never stopped loving it, but loving it even more now, right?
Well, it's different because, I was at a great company, and there's a ton of great people there. And there's a ton of great people here. I think the difference was, it's just the level of access to information I was looking and needed to surround myself with to be able to take the business, in this case, businesses, to the next level. So it's been a complete game changer for us. And I think about it all the time because I've got a renewed energy for the business. The way I look at wealth building's completely changed for multiple reasons. And the one thing I could put my finger on was ownership, right? And for me, I was looking a way to benefit my agents on my team, right? Like not everything is about Stacey, because here's how I look at it now, right? In the past, I was worried about, I was always really concerned with my clients. And at the time, my clients were people that are willing to buy and sell with us, right? Now that the company's grown, my clients are the agents on my team, right? My operations staff, my sales team, those are my clients. And then they go serve our clients that buy, sell, and invest in real estate. So with that, the agents, I wanted to find something more that those agents could not only survive, but thrive. And in moving to this model, they have the ability to get revenue share and stock. To me, it's given them a little better access to some wealth building stuff from what we do, and through the EXP model that's completely changed the game. So it wasn't just a Stacey thing. It was our whole team organization that everybody rises together, which has been the game changer for us.
Well, the main thing you touched on there, access that we have to the brightest minds in the business. And it's, a lot of times that was for us, you and I, especially for years, that was a $2,000 a month coaching fee, $500 a week for 30 minutes, which is great. But now we have total access with our mastermind every week. The whole team's on there, on my team, and I don't miss it unless I really have to. Yeah. So access is number one, but you hit a pretty big milestone here recently. Tell us about that.
So yeah, it was as of last year, part of the EXP model too is agent attraction. And, I did it in my prior company also. This one it's even better, right? I love teaching and training. I know you got the little bit of heart where, we're always teaching and training agents, whether we were being paid or not, it's just kind of in our hearts. But at the same time, we just hit 100 agents that have since joined us at EXP, which is a huge milestone. In January, I believe, of last year, 6 agents had joined what we're doing over here, and we just hit 100, which is huge. Not that I didn't think it could get done. It's just it went from 6 to 100 fairly quickly, and I'm super excited with all the agents that have joined us. They've added a ton of value into our group, and kind of like you were saying earlier, we've now kind of created our own group mastermind. Really, it's kind of our family. We call it Modern Agent, right? Even though majority of those agents, some may be on my team, some may be on yours, some may be on Casey's and other, Jorge's, but the majority of them have their own businesses like yourself that are all within our Modern Agent umbrella. And Modern Agent is just a, fancy name we put to it. We're creating this movement to where you and I are now financially incentivized to help everybody grow their business, right? I brought you over to EXP. My goal is for your business to be bigger than mine. And I don't know in too many other models where I'm rooting for your business to be bigger than mine, but this model's been awesome. And it's got 100 agents that, you, myself, Casey, and our whole crew that we pour into on a daily basis and really just give them our playbook, because those that attracted us have given, us their playbook and what it's like to grow a big business, which has just been an absolute game changer. Because as we know, agents attract agents, and then we're all looking at each other's playbook. We're helping each other out to help grow our businesses, that for the ones that are focused on actually growing businesses. So that's huge.
Well, you said something about the mastermind. We're on the big mastermind, which is about 400 people every week, which is national. But right here in our group, which probably 95%, 98% of everybody's in Atlanta, we have a group of 100 people that you can go in and ask any question. Have you seen this? Who's got a contractor? Whatever it is. And you get 4, 5, 6 answers right away. And for the new agents that are coming in that say they're brand new, it's been such a huge advantage and resource for them, because they can tap into folks like me and you and Casey and Jorge and Steve that have a lot of experience, or folks that are doing it at any level. And to be able to have that kind of access and have the playbook open has been such a incredible blessing, not just for them, but for you and I as well, because, we kept hitting this ceiling back at the other place, which was, we did good every year, but having the unbridled access is what really makes this thing go. It's like foot on the gas, fast forward, so to speak.
Well, and I liken it to this too, is I didn't have, I was surrounded with good people where I was. It wasn't a situation where, were they willing to give me some information? Yes. I wanted to see the playbook. I wanted to see the plays that are actually being run, right? And most agents that come up to me, nowadays are asking me 2 questions. One is, how do I grow a team? And how do I get out of the business? What's my exit look like? In the first quarter, I added it up. I met with 83 agents in the first quarter of this year over coffee, lunch, dinner, whatever it was, right? And it boiled down to 2 things. One was creating a team, and maybe not a big team that everybody thinks of. They want some leverage. They want their life back. They've had success in the business, right? And they're making really good money, but they're trading that all for lifestyle. Yeah. And so they have to get some leverage in their life, right? To be able to then balance out, because the money's great, but if you're not living a life and you're going to the beach and sharing time with your family, whatever it does for you, it doesn't seem to feel good, right? Right. And so those are the 2 conversations I had are, how do I leverage myself? How do I grow a team and or, work my way to where I'm focusing on my business, maybe out of production? Or the second one is, Stacey, I've got 10 years left in the business, right? And how do I get off the commission hamster wheel, right? And what does my exit from the business look like? Those are 99% of the questions. So within our private group, right, that agents are coming in, I'm highly incentivized to share the playbook that, helped me get to where I'm at. I'm completely out of production at this point. I'm focused on helping my team. I look at myself as kind of the ambassador or spokesperson for Stacey Wyatt Real Estate.
COO.
COO. Well, I call that creator of opportunity. That's right. So my goal is to create the opportunities for them to help build a big business and then serve our clients. But then, as you know, we've got a construction company that my buddy Chris runs on the day-to-day that we're partners in, and they serve a lot of our clients. We've got an investment division now that Brian on my team is basically leading up. And, I'm getting ready to invest in an insurance company. So all these ancillary services that make the business come through. So it's freed me up to then be able to pour into agents within the Modern Agent Group. And honestly, I'm showing them my playbook. We got agents that have less traditional brokerages where they've had to lean on those brokerages for some marketing and this and that. And they pay a hefty, fee to them for that, to where we're showing them systems that we've built that they could hire 2 people for what they paid that other brokerage and actually build a business, right? Because most agents own a job. Most agents literally just bought their job, right? They own their job. They don't really have a business. And one big thing we're doing is teaching agents how to actually build businesses, right? And how I define a business is if you could leave, let's just say leave the country for 30 days, right? 60 would be ideal. Let's say Mike wants to take his beautiful bride and maybe your son with you and disappear for 30 days. Is your business going to completely fall off or just implode, right? If it is, the answer is you don't really have a business, you have a job. And so within our Modern Agent Group, with what we're doing is it's just helping other agents grow businesses to where they can get better leverage in their life. And we're really shortcutting it because we're showing them they're basically copying our playbook, right? They're able to implement things that you and I've bumped our knee on, that we spend a ton of money making mistakes and figuring out. Now, you and I both know, right? Because we have some agents that are in the early stages of growing teams. They're going to bump their knee, and they have to because they're like, oh, Stacey, he and Mike, they've been doing it forever. They know what they're talking about, but
you guys are dinosaurs,
right? You guys are dinosaurs. Well, sometimes they got to go bump their knee, and they're like, you know what? That was right. But a lot of them are going to take, we're going to give them solid advice, and they're implementing it at such a fast pace. They're going to be able to grow their teams or leverage, if it's a solo agent, they're going to be able to cut that 4-year learning curve down to 2 years. And here's the difference. And I talk about this all the time because I've really thought this through and this is not a knock on any other brokerage, is typically the managing broker, the team leader, the assistant team, or what have you. And this is no knock on them. Is like most of them have chose to get in more of a management role. And, I look at that as like a coach. Like I'm a big sports guy. So I look at it as a coach. They've been there, they've done that. Well, you and I are player coaches, right? Like we're still playing the game. Like we're out there day to day. Now, I don't necessarily sell homes every single day. However, I'm in every single contract. I'm usually talking to agents on every single deal as we're negotiating. I'm looking at inspection reports. So we are in that, and we are in the day to day. So we're player coaches. So when agents are approaching us, we're actually telling them what really works today, not what 10 years ago when I used to sell, right? So agents find that super valuable. And I would have loved that when I came in the business because I wanted to peek over somebody's shoulder. I could implement some stuff, but it was almost like going to college and then giving me the theory. I wanted to actually be in business and learning from those that are doing it day to day. That's where the value is. So that's where I see the value of our group is, whether we say locally, and locally means we have 100 agents. There are a majority in Atlanta, but we've got agents that join us. They're in Florida, North Carolina, Virginia. We're growing roots all over the country because the model allows us to. And, our goal is to be in every state and every country that EXP operates, which I believe is 14 or 16 countries now.
16.
We're going to grow Modern Agent internationally. And Modern Agent is just a community that, for those that need the word, it's in my downline, right? Because I was one of the first to move and you've joined and everybody else has joined with us. But with that, I take a huge responsibility because my goal is to pour into all those agents. Your goal is to pour in all those agents to help them grow their businesses because in it, we're all financially supported. We win when they win, which is such a cool thing in this model.
So we touched on a lot of things there. One of the things I want to come back to is, agents, agents and teams, got people like you and I that own teams and people that are doing it on their own. They're always looking where to go, who's going to give them the best deal, the best split, the best cut. It's not necessarily about that. It's about access. So if you're if somebody out there has a team, say a big team, or they're just a solo agent just starting out, or they just want to stay solo. What is the value add for coming over and being in our group, the Modern Agent? I mean, what is it if I got a 75 person team? What is the value add for me coming over to Modern Agent?
Well, that's a loaded question because there's so much. Like if we just looked at the hierarchy, like the broker level, right? Well, I grew a team, and let's say I wanted to expand in Metro Atlanta. Well, in an old franchise model, I have to open that office that belongs to that market center or that brokerage, right? Because they have franchise rights in that territory, and they have to be a full cap. Let's say, I'm licensed in Florida now, and I want to put an agent down there. Well, that means we need to have another full cap down there. Well, in EXP's model, since it's virtual, it's basically borderless. Now it is bordered by the state, right? Because we have to operate within the state laws for the broker for each state. However, I can have agents in multiple states under one cap and one office fee. So I could, I'm licensed in Georgia and Florida. That's one office fee, not two. It's one cap, not two. And I can do that in every city and every state in the country, right? So there's a lot less friction in our model. We're an independent model or virtual model. And so for teams, there is a lot more, what I call a lot less friction and a lot more flexibility to be able to grow, right? The second piece is within EXP's model, we get ownership, right? So as we do our first transaction, Glenn Sanford, who's CEO of the company, his belief was he wanted agents to be owners of the company. So we all get stock when we do our first deal, when we cap. If you're a full capper, we get stock when we cap. If you can reach icon, which I don't know if you can see behind me there. Oh, maybe not. Got my two icons there that, when you hit icon, you get, they basically give you 16K back in company stock. Then if you attract an agent, you get stock, right? So they created ownership. And for teams that move over, all those agents, that let's just assume they're under them as far as rev share and stock, that's huge. And then as the agents grow, and it's something that, if I started my own brokerage, which was, in the conversation when I was making a decision to leave my prior brokerage, but then I looked at the risk and the expense, and I could, if EXP already had the platform and the bandwidth and the E&O insurance and all of that, I prefer just to build my business on their platform, which is what we did. But to get back to your question, so I think you have to understand from the broker level, they have set it up for teams to really excel in this model.
Right.
But let's talk about Modern Agent, which is our group within EXP that we're all kind of financially aligned through the rev share and stock model, is this, right? So we've built up modernagentu.com, which is our university. And what we've essentially done is taken the playbook that we've developed over the last 7 to 8 years, and anybody that joined Modern Agent is getting our playbook. So they want to see what the listing consult looks like, buyer consult looks like, how we do business marketing, how we onboard team agents, how we do everything. I'm a big systems and models guy, especially if you're going to build a team. So what we're helping agents do is to be able to bring their team over and scale it and use a playbook that we've proven to be successful, especially if they're on a path. Let's say the team leader's on the path to want to get out of production and grow a business. But then also we're helping team agents continue to grow their businesses, right? Mm-hmm. And that has been huge in our model because at some point, listen, not every agent, I've come to this realization. I think every team leader needs to come to the realization, like every agent on your team is going to leave you at some point. You are going to be the only person standing at the end of the day. I know it sucks to say that out loud, but you have to come to that realization, right? Now, within that, that's why the EXP's model is beautiful, is let's say there is an agent that, listen, a lot of people don't want to have to deal with all the day-to-day. I talked to over 80 agents in first quarter. Most of them hate hiring and firing people, right? They don't like to deal with all that. They don't want to teach and train. They'd rather just go sell houses. And that is probably 90% of agents we talk to. Mm-hmm. So in our model, we're helping to, we figured a lot of that stuff out. Hey, here's how you hire. Here's the contracts. Here's how you add value to them and how you build out your team. So where they've typically had to go hunt and peck for that, learn at the School of Hard Knocks, what we did was we actually put all of that knowledge, right, into a living, breathing course online. And then I should say course, it's a website that's got at this point, 8 courses. There's about 22 others that are being currently built out. Everything from team onboarding, team offboarding, buyer mastery, seller mastery, investing, everything that an agent would need, whether it's a team or not. So getting back to that, so if there was ever an agent that decided to start their own team, then we've got that wherewithal within to help them then grow their business and spread their wings. Not everybody wants to do that because they don't want to deal with all the stuff that we just talked about. But for the ones that do, they can easily roll out, and we're still financially incentivized to help them grow their business. So it's a really cool model to where we're all rewarded for helping each other grow our businesses to whatever level that we want.
Well, we have a path. We basically just said it. We have a path, whatever level the agent it is, brand new, second year, owns a team of 75 agents. There's a path not only for themselves to grow and scale, there's a path for them to scale, grow their people and scale.
Yep.
And there's also a path to get out of the business. And you and I both know, it took us 10 years to hit the magic number, close to it. I think 8 or 9. And, we're able to help folks do that in 4 and 5 or less. And if you've been in the business, 5 years or 6 or 7 years, or maybe 10 years, at some point you've got to be able to get out of the business. Yep. And the day you stop selling, the day you sell your last home, that's the last paycheck. And so EXP has really done a good job. Like you said, Glenn Sanford, thank you, sir, of making us owners of the company. So we have a stock portfolio, but also sharing half of the company's revenue back to the agents that participate in it. And by the way, for those of you out there, there's 80,000 plus agents in our company, and only about 12% participate in revenue share. So there's plenty of revenue to go around. And we are a production company. I mean, I don't know what you probably know the number, but we are, what was it? How many billions did they do last year? It was almost 2 billion, something like that.
Big number. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a company, when I joined a little over 2 years ago, right, October of 2018, I was in around agent 18,000. And today we stand at 80,000 agents strong. It's the fastest growing brokerage in history, and it's a little bit because of our model, right? Where franchises have to, when you have the mothership that has to go sell a region and the regions have to sell franchises, we're virtual brokers. So literally every state's already open. We've got 14 countries open. So they don't have to go sell anything. We just add agents globally. And so we've grown, and I found that is to be a huge benefit to us, not only growing our teams, but in growing Modern Agent, which this company, Glenn's got a goal, 500,000 agents, which has never been done. I mean, KW, is, 100, they were 180. Let's say they shrunk a little bit, maybe 175.
Right.
The benchmark for a singular company, Realogy's like 8 brands, right? So let's kind of put that. So it's from a single brand. I'm expecting EXP to pass, KW within the next 2 years. I think Glenn's actually got it shown as less. And they got some big, hairy, audacious goal to get to 1 million agents, which is crazy. However, I do see as the real estate market's changed, and it's changed really fast, right? Commission shrinking, institutional investors getting involved, the business is really changing, that I do believe the new real estate models. And if you look at it, right, to me, EXP was the leader in this new virtual model with rev share and stock. You get all the knockoffs coming, and everybody that's building out a model now is copying EXP's model. And why is that? They've given agents true ownership in the company, right? And sharing in the revenue. And that to me is the model of the future. So you're going to start seeing that. The franchise model, unfortunately, is just not, and I think Gary Keller is the OG of real estate. Just my opinion, probably the smartest man. I put Glenn up there right next to him. And I think they were just voted number 1 and 2 most influential in the business. But Gary's hamstrung with his franchises. Yeah. Right. Those are all separate ownerships. Well, you go read, Good to Great or some of these other books that talk about the life cycle of a company, and this franchise models now are hamstrung because Gary can't just change it. He's got to get everybody at a market center level to buy in, then at the regional level. And you watch, I mean, these franchise models are going to struggle as you go forward because you got the brick and mortar cost, got all that overhead. And with commission shrinking, agents are going to want to be in a place that have access to the technology, something fresh, but also that they're getting ownership and a potential way off of the hamster wheel we talk about. Because you and I both know plenty of agents within EXP that have made so much in stock and so much in revenue share. There were like Mary Maloney and Tina Call. I love you, Kevin. They basically retired their husbands in a sense, right? Yeah. Well, not in a sense, they retired them because they have too much money coming in revenue share. I know, there's plenty that have cashed out some stock to buy investment properties. So where else can you get that, right? Typically, you and I know we're just as good as our deal, the next deal. Get a commission and we're done. So just everything that's involved with the EXP model, in my opinion, is super incentivizing agents, especially teams, because EXP is even so much more beneficial to teams in this model. That people can grow and create that way off of the hamster wheel and truly build a retirement plan because they've helped the company grow, which is huge. And you're not seeing that. So I do believe every model, any new models that come out are going to be somewhat similar, if not a complete knockoff of EXP.
Well, the beautiful thing about the revenue sharing stock, and this goes back to the days when we were doing this at Keller Williams, because the kindness of our heart, for helping others grow, for helping others learn how to sell homes, scale a business, learn how to hire somebody, learn how to, whatever it is they need to know. EXP compensates us for that. And that's what I love the most is it's a community of people that are all now, we're all aligned financially to help each other grow. It's incredible. And, speaking of which, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and to that point, our prior broker, and I think I did the math. I told you I taught over 100 courses at my prior broker, and I loved it. And I do think teaching, teaching is the way to mastery, right? If you want to get to mastery, you need to teach it. Well, the difference was as my business grew and my obligations grew to not only to my team, but to my other business and my other business partners, I had to get really, protective of my time. And I was always kind of the got a minute guy. Well, that got a minute added up to a lot to where it was really hard to keep up with everybody. Well, in this model, the got a minutes come from all the people in Modern Agent that, they're partners. We're partner level. You know why? Because if they produce, I earn revenue share, I earn stock. And so to me, that's a fiduciary responsibility in my mind to where I want to help them grow. And when they came over to EXP, I told them I was going to help them grow. So I am, putting my money where my mouth is, because we're investing back into them in multiple ways outside of just the courses we've created. And when I say courses, it is the playbook.
Yeah.
It's exactly how we operate our business, every aspect of it. And I just want you to copy it, right? Now, everybody can make it their own. Stacey's not a genius and he's not perfect, right? It's perfect for me and my team, and it evolves over time as our team figures out a better way to do it. However, here's what we did. That was 8 to 10 years in the making, right? We took everything we had in 10 years, put it into a place where they can go steal it, make it their own, however they want to run their business. And I just saved them thousands and thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours. And right now, the most important thing to me is time, just because that's what I have the least of anymore.
Yeah. So when you joined, 2 years ago, there were 18,000 agents total. We just passed 80. Sailed past 80,000, and taking about 1,000 agents a week. I know we've covered a lot, but why do you think that EXP is growing at 1,000 agents a week?
It's a great question. Obviously, if we weren't selling any real estate, they wouldn't be coming, right?
Right.
So I put my finger on a lot of things. Obviously, a lot of influencers have moved over, right? Mm-hmm. But if we moved over and our businesses didn't change, how many agents would actually want to come, right? Our business is more than doubled, right? And so that's a huge part is, let's face it, at the end of the day, you already said only 12% of agents participate in rev share, right? You and I are doing that at a high level. However, most agents just want to figure out how to sell more houses, serve more families, and make more money, right? And so that's first and foremost. And if you go look at Real Trends numbers, EXP is not only, the growth agent-wise, I think, KW's growth was about 5%, if I remember. Everybody else was like less than that. Remax was -1. EXP's growth was like what, 100%? It's crazy numbers. So obviously the agents are growing, but then if you go look at volume in the transactions, that has also grown astronomically. So now because even more and more and more producers are coming to EXP, so you're seeing that growth. And so kind of goes back to, one is we are more financially incentivized to help each other grow the business. I think that's huge, first and foremost. And so we are teaching each other. The collaboration groups here are crazy, like crazy good. And I put my finger on that, right? And I think I mentioned that earlier. I finally put into that when you're an owner of something, you look at things very different, right? When you and I were working in maybe in a corporate world, or you're working at the gym, we're getting paid to do a job. When that job's over, we're out. Well, if you own that gym, you're sweeping the floor, you're taking the trash out, you're doing everything, right? You're maybe helping trainers to do more sales. You are actually highly incentivized to help that business grow because you're earning money through stock and through revenue. You're an owner. So I put the growth on a heavy part of the growth on EXP is that we're all acting like owners because the more that we help each other grow, right? The more EXP succeeds. Well, when EXP succeeds, the way Glenn set this up into one holding company with all the ancillary businesses in it, whether it's mortgage, title, insurance, EXP World, which is the game-changing software, right?
Yeah.
If you were ever going to change, if you were going to impact an industry, you have to have a game changer. The game changer is the software. Almost every campus, Stanford, all these companies, especially through COVID, took our software and created a virtual campus. Well, guess what? EXP Holding owns that. So all of those companies are in the holding company that you and I are owners of. You know, Success Magazine, which most people don't know. So as all of those companies get better, right? We as owners earn through that. So I put my finger heavily on we all act like owners and we're helping each other grow. I've got a call as soon as we get off of this with an agent out of Texas who John Pugh is a friend of hers. We're all at EXP. And I'm going to spend 30 minutes with her going over Google My Business, right? How that's impacted our business, on how to get reviews, how to get business off that, do ads off of that, right? Well, I'm not necessarily, she's not in Modern Agents. So we're not earning, but you know what? John Pugh's a good buddy of mine. We mastermind, you know, John. I help one of his agents. He helps one of my agents because we're all owners in the company, and the bigger and better, the more money we make. It is a friggin' brilliant model. So for me personally, because it was different for me, because I loved my last company and I bled red when I was at that other company. It was different here. And after being in it for about a year, because it felt different, right? And I could never articulate it. Then after I went to a few events, I met a few other agents and had the experience. It came down to the ownership. When you own something, you treat it very differently. And I want to see everybody win. I want to see you, Casey, Steve, Jorge, everybody in our group build much bigger businesses than me because we're financially incentivized to help them to do so.
That's right. And when, like you said, owners take better care of it. And when you're meeting with a group of owners, I went to San Diego in a room with 200 plus business owners who are also owners in the company. It's like, it's an open book. Anything you need. That's why John Pugh is so great because, I mean, he lives in Arizona, right? Or in California. And we can call him anytime and get anything we need. That's the culture of the company. And so I would, say to any agent out there, you're going to sell real estate no matter what. Take a look at what this company offers. And for those of you that know Stacey and know me, you know that we're reputable folks and that we wouldn't have moved our businesses over to a company if it wasn't a good idea. And now that we're in it, it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd have done it sooner. And so for those of you out there, take a look, no obligation, and just see what it looks like and see what your business would look like in this model. And I guarantee you it's going to look different in a good way. Don't you think?
100%. Well, and I'll say this too, Mike. It's, since I meet so many agents, talk so many agents, I was at TL in prior life and heard all the stories, and I talked to a lot of people. The biggest thing that agents struggle with is change, right? It's easier to stay where you're at and suffer in silence than to actually rip off a Band-Aid and make a move on something that actually could be beneficial for you. So that's a big one to me is, and we've made it really easy during the transition. Like, we help people make the transition because we know once they get here, the benefits are going to pay them in spades than from where they're at. So I think if they were honest to sit back and actually take a look at the model, and they can say, dude, you guys are crazy, right? And I'm fine with that. I just want them to take an honest look at it and see that it will change their business and in some cases change their life. Because going back to the way we started this conversation, the amount of agents that I grew up respecting, right, now are calling me and asking me, how do I exit the business, right? Which I take a lot of, I'm grateful that they trust me to do that. I do feel like I have that business mind, but here's the thing is Here's the typical MO of agents and I've been hanging around with. They bury their head to build a business and they get very successful. But when then they peek up to take a deep breath, they realize, holy crap, I've had all the success. How do I get off the hamster wheel? And they have no plan to exit this business or to create some sort of lifestyle. And so that's where the conversation comes. Listen, if you're able to set yourself up, like I've done, right, and build this plan out, there is a path off of it.
Right.
Because in these traditional brokerages, they're only ever going to be as good as their last sale.
Yeah.
So until they can get in and create their own business, which I defined earlier, right, and put a path in place to either build it to where they're out of production or set themselves up to where they could sell the business or do a handoff of the business, right? They don't have any exit plans. And you know what? They waited so long, they're up against 6 or 7 years. And by that time, they're a little tired and worn out.
Yeah.
They don't have to go build a team. They don't want to have to do that stuff. So it's going to be more painful if they wait than if they actually rip the Band-Aid off, let us help them build a business that they'll either be able to sell or grow themselves out of production to completely change their lives. So to me, a lot of the agents are just going to struggle with the change of it, right? And let's face it, the model's not built for everybody. I do think if somebody took a hard look at it, for those that do sell a decent bit of real estate, it's a no-brainer, right? So though that's typical how I'm seeing it in the conversations I'm having with the agents. And the last piece I'll add in there is the wealth building aspect of it. There's not many brokerages, and the last brokerage did a little bit of it. There's nobody really teaching you how to run a business, taxes, accounting, like in depth. I know they've had courses, hey, run a business like a business, but they really show them, right? We're actually teaching through, I would be scared to put a number on what I've actually paid. It's 6 figures plus on what I've paid to learn on managing taxes, accounting, how to set myself up for the future within my entity structure. And so we are also teaching a lot of wealth building, not only if it's investing in real estate, buy and hold, but then there's the tax structures, the entity structures, setting your kids up on payroll, all this type of stuff that I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn. That's the piece that a lot of agents aren't going to spend the money to, aren't thinking about it until it's too late. So the wealth building aspect of what we're doing and what I'm really passionate about, I think adds a tremendous amount of values because they don't have to go pay for it. In most cases, they can learn within our modern agent world because we teach it on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned something earlier. I'm going to bring that back when you talked about agent being our company being agent owned. And a lot of companies, all companies have recruiters and have team leaders and brokers and recruiters. And EXP is an agent, is a brokerage of agent owners. And us, the owners, are the ones that are reaching out and helping grow the company. And that's like like you grow your own team, like you grow any business. Whether you open an ice cream shop, you are growing it. And we are compensated for helping grow this company. And we're and bringing in either anybody from a brand new agent to somebody that's got a $200 million team. The ownership piece for me is one of the most rewarding because I have a say in the outcome of this company by attracting folks in it. And there's a lot of people like you. I get calls, 2 or 3 calls every week from somebody. Hey man, I want to hear more about this. And we're getting some critical mass here. We're not this little company anymore, EXU. It's like we're knocking on the door to 90,000 people soon, and we'll blow past 100,000 this year. And so we've got some momentum. So it's a movement at this point for sure.
100%. Back when, when I made the first move and I pulled up the EXP roster in Georgia, and I didn't know anybody other than Collett McDonald, but now it's influencer, like top agent after top agent after top agent that has joined. And they're not joining just to join. They've obviously, some very smart people have come over and looked at it from both a business and a financial aspect, and has been completely changed. And, every now and then EXP gets a knock on, hey, we're recruiting. Well, let's face it, like you said earlier, every single brokerage recruits.
Right.
In the traditional brokerages, they pay somebody a lot of money to recruit. Yeah. So that's why it's a little more quiet when the team leader or the managing broker is responsible for recruiting. But let's go outside of of real estate, dude, there's a thing called corporate recruiter. Corporate companies recruit. If you're not recruiting, and I don't care what business you're in, you don't have a business, because the hardest thing in this business, once you get some systems and models in place, it's all about the people. It's always a who. That's how you're going to grow a business. So I don't care what business in. And you were right. Agents attract agents to the brokerages, right? That's who ultimately comes. So we're just basically getting rewarded for our recruiting efforts. And you and I don't even recruit. I mean, 99% of people have reached out to me, said, hey, tell me more about this model. So I look at it as agent attraction. We're attracting agents to it. And I'm honest with them, man. I'm straight up and say, like, here's the pros, here's the cons. Here's who I think it works for. Here's who it doesn't work for. But what I do know is if you join our group, you get 100% of our time of attention and access to our playbook. And, you know, I would challenge anybody to ask any of the agents, whether it's in Modern Agent or within EXP in general, definitely within Modern Agent, because they know how we operate on a regular basis, man. Every day I wake up, it's like, how are we adding more value to this group, right? I'll go out and get the best speakers in the state, in some cases the country, to put in front of them on a panel. I don't care, you know, I call it broker agnostic. We're going to go find the best agents to help to put on a panel, ask them questions. You know, we do a 1 p.m. Zoom every Tuesday for Modern Agent Group. We've got a training calendar built out for the entire year. And it's basically on every aspect of the business, soup to nuts, from, you know, buyers, sellers, lead gen, business building, where I'm actually walking them through accounting and taxes and, you know, all of that type of stuff. So it's the full meal deal on what we're doing in terms of adding value to the agents that join the group.
Yeah, and our little Modern Agent group, 100 people right now, will be probably, at the rate we're growing, you know, 1,000 people in you know, about 2 years. And that's for those of y'all out there, that's a mega brokerage. That is a mega brokerage. And to have that right here in our little town of Atlanta, Georgia, it's coming. I mean, people are coming.
Well, if we were in rightness, and we're not, you know, you and I don't run a brokerage. Like, our teams are built on a brokerage. We created a group called Modern Agent. This is just a collection of agents that joined us. Dude, 100 agents. I mean, let's go pull the numbers outside of the big box brokers. You know, boutique broker, there ain't that many that have 100 agents. So obviously they're coming for a reason. We're able to add value to them. Right. This thing is just going to continue to grow, because the cool thing is each agent helps the other agent. And the secret sauce to me is the financial alignment that we all have to help each other grow each other's businesses, which it's been game changing. It's in some cases, I mean, life change. I don't want to name any numbers, but, you know, we're all making considerable revenue through rev share, and we're helping teach that and pour back into the agents, and taking a lot of that money, investing it back into, you know, our group through events and through training and stuff that we can bring to them to help them grow their businesses.
Well, and everybody, like you said, there's so many people coming because there is value, but each person brings their own thing, something that's unique about them, something that they can give to the group to help everybody grow. And that's key. It's not just about, hey, how many listings can you get? It's just about, you know, how they run their business and some tricks they do to maybe keep their clients happy. I mean, it's just a lot of things that they're being poured into everybody on a weekly basis. And I think that's an awesome thing.
I mean, yeah, you can't understate that, because, like, if we were to look at our group and we're like, you know, we got Casey and you know, Christina Cabo and a lot of others that brought a lot of social media savvy to our group. We've implemented them, right? And then you got Jorge, who is, you know, the KV Core guru in terms of a CRM and team building that we all provide. And there's a pro in one of the categories that we all can learn from. And it's an abundance mentality we've talked about in the past, because some people aren't wanting to share. In our group, man, it's game on. Like, we're doing, hey, how you doing, you know, ramping up your business and advertising through Google? How are you doing? You know, what does your team contract look like? How are we generating these leads and converting and all of that stuff? And every agent that we add to our group seems to bring a new context, a new view, a fresher view in some cases, for some new agents coming in with a fresh view on the business, which keeps us on our toes, but at the same time adds a ton of value. And the context of our group has just gotten better every single week that we add an agent.
There's some hungry folks in our group, and a lot of big producers in our group too. And it's getting bigger. A lot of folks selling a lot of homes, helping a lot of families out there.
And I think we're 8, maybe 9 icons already in our group. So we're outperforming EXP, where I think EXP maybe have, let's just say 3 to 5% of their agents are icons. We're clicking at more like 8 to 10%, and growing every day, because I know, there's 5 other agents that have just joined us that in their first year, they're going to hit icon also.
Oh, yeah.
And so, maybe we should rename our group the Icon Builder. But it just goes to show you, we're focused on production and helping each other grow our businesses. But then they get rewarded by, EXP's highest honor in a sense of achieving icon, which is amazing. And, I want to grow more icons, because I know if we're growing more icons, that's just proof in the pudding that we're helping agents grow big business. Now they have to put in the work and effort, right? But hopefully we're able to light the path a little brighter than when you and I were walking down that path, so they don't have to spend the money and have some of the hard knocks that you and I did. And like you said earlier, we can cut a team building, and it's being proven out now through a couple agents within our group that they're going to beat us in team building by cutting it probably in half, right? Because they're just taking our playbook and using it and probably making it better. And that's the cool thing too. As they figure out better plays, we're just going to update our playbook and everybody can use it.
Right.
That's the amazing part. And that's the piece that I feel like I was missing. Now that we built the playbook, now we can add to it. It's game changing for everybody in our group.
Yeah, to be able to give back all this knowledge and receive knowledge from all these other agents is phenomenal. It's like, to say it's fun again, it's always been fun, but this is like fever pitch excitement. Just every day, every week. It's just like this big, huge group of people that are all reaching out to help each other. It's just
100%.
It's incredible.
Then it's a complete game changer. And it's, it was a refresh on the business. Couldn't be any more excited to be in it. And I've always loved real estate, but this is like 10x it in multiple areas. And it's exciting. It's exciting here's the other thing, right? Like Mike could have grown, you could have went and just kept growing your business and hadn't reached the level of success. You and I've had people along the way that have added value to us in one way or the other. This is pretty exciting because we can bring a lot of people with us, right? I was talking about it'd be if you went and climbed the biggest mountain in the world and you stood on top of it by yourself, hey, that's a big achievement. It's even better when people come with you and you can enjoy it and share it together. And that's the fun part for me, because we do enjoy pouring into agents, seeing them succeed, and nobody succeeds alone. And it's more fun with all these people coming with us to the mountaintop and having their level of success, because it's very rewarding in a lot of senses. And
there's a lot of room at the top of the mountaintop. Come on.
Exactly.
All right, brother. Look, man, it's good talking to you again. Let's do it again soon. For those of y'all out there, Stacey and I are going to do these, every 3 weeks. When scheduling permits, but we want to make sure that we're articulating the opportunity that there is with this company. And the gloves are off. I mean, it's time for everybody to take a look. And we both have a lot of relationships with a lot of you agents out there in the marketplace. And so you will be getting a call, because there's something that we want to share with you, because we think it'd be a benefit for you and your family. And so with all that said, Mike Price signing off. Stacey, great to see you again. Thanks for your time today, buddy.
Yeah, but thanks for the time. Talk soon.
Man. Talk soon.
Bye.